Hey guys, Paul here. Welcome to RDTV. Thank you for tuning in to today's token drive, where we're taking the Skoda Octavia Cup 2018 version 1 mod for Assetto Corsa out for a race. Now, before we get going, I'll do a little bit of housekeeping here. This is Imola, in which we're racing the beautiful Imola circuit. We're doing an 8-lap AI race. We've got the AI set to 100%, we've got the aggression set to 68 and a 3% variance within that AI group of cars. There's 19 of us out on circuit. We're starting from the back of the grid, and as I say, it's an 8-lap race that we hope is going to be plenty of time to have a look at this new mod, give our impressions, talk about its pros and cons, and give you a feel for what the latest car to come out for the venerable Assetto Corsa feels like, and if it's worth a download yourself. Now, as I say, this is the Skoda Octavia 2018 Cup car, which is very much an unusual car to pick to create a mod for a racing sim. It's a very little known European Championship, and I'll absolutely be honest with you, when I first saw this car had released, I had low expectations. I kind of expected it to be a little fan love letter, maybe pretty poorly put together, but just brought out so somebody could say, hey, we've got a Skoda in Assetto Corsa. I could not have been more wrong. This, do not be mistaken, this is a high quality mod. An exceptionally high quality mod actually. Now, it's the first mod for AC from the group behind creating this. You'll find a download link in the video description if you want to try it out for yourself. Please do give it a try, but also please remember to give it a rating and a comment once you have downloaded it. And the guys and girls behind it have made it very clear that the intention of the Octavia Cup 2018 for AC is to get the physics to a point where it represents the most realistic possible experience, true to life experience of the real Octavia Cup. And in order, hey up, got a lot of back end going on there, so that caught my attention for a moment and puckered my sphincter. Yeah, in order to achieve the realism that they so desire with this mod, there's been some engagement with real life Skoda Octavia Cup drivers and mechanics, and also a team of quality sim racers as well, to ensure that the feedback and data that they've garnered from the real team and drivers is represented appropriately in a racing simulation environment. And quite frankly, that shines through in this mod. Now, the Octavia Cup, I've never raced one of these in real life, obviously, so I'm basing my experience really on experience behind the wheel in that one more luck than judgment. Oh, and he's given me a hip and shoulder as well. I didn't like that one, but it doesn't matter, I've spun him off, the little bugger. Yeah, my experience, my vast experience in sim racing, driving many other similar kinds of tin-top touring car and cup cars, is all I can rely on to decide whether this is a realistic experience or not. And with every fibre of my being is telling me yes, yes it is. It behaves as one would expect a car of this kind to behave. In fact, if anything, it's a little bit more fruity than I thought it would be. I kind of expected a more stable race car, a little bit more point and squirt, a little bit more suited to drivers of varying different excuse me, skills and experience levels. But the Octavia Cup is really, it's quite a lively car. It's very excitable under braking. You really got to pick your braking point correctly, and you've got to use the size and weight of the car to your advantage as you apply a little bit of drift into, of course, these very basic aerodynamics employed in a car of this kind. So you're using the mechanical grip, you're using the grip from the tyres really to get you into and around the corners. And it's a very simplified approach to a racing car, the correct approach to a racing car, quite frankly. There's none of the gizmos and junk that takes away the feel that the driver has between his bum cheeks and his feet and his hands, and I love it. It's a proper stripped down little race car, and the job the guys and girls behind the mod have done is simply fabulous. As I said at the beginning, I've got no experience of this car in real life. I've never watched the Skoda Octavia Cup race, so I've got basically zero reference point. So if I need to answer the question of, does this realistically represent the Skoda Octavia Cup? I cannot, in all honesty, give you that answer. I can tell you that the mod team have used real data, real driver feedback, so one would hope and expect that has been applied to the mod to give a satisfactory experience. It's been signed off by those real world people concerned, so it must represent a realistic feeling. But what I can testify to, hand on heart with a cherry on top, is, does it give a good sim racing experience? And the answer to that one is a categorical yes. This is a very enjoyable mod. It's fast enough to be fun. It's lively enough to keep your attention span if you're just driving alone and you're not worried about the heat of competition. But it's stable enough, it's sensible enough, it's predictable enough, and it's slow enough to encourage really good racing, which basically is exactly what a touring car and a cup car should be all about. And I think they've represented that very well indeed with this mod, and I'm deeply impressed by that. All the more so because this is the first mod that they've released for Assetto Corsa. You do well to tell that this is the first mod. Every little bit of it feels like it's been produced to an exceptionally high quality. So the 3D model inside the car looks really good. There's plenty of detail. You can see the little pitting on the material of the steering wheel. The dashboard looks nice. The map that you see on the dash is interchangeable depending on what track of the real world series as well, so you can change that in Content Manager. It's set up to be compatible with the shader mod that's out for Assetto Corsa. It's got working wipers again for the same for the weather mod. It's got all the bells and whistles of a modern AC. Of course, it's got V10 tyres, which is the latest and final, I suppose, tyre technology out there for AC. So it's got all the bells and whistles. The 3D model of the other cars that you see out on track, again, look excellent, look really detailed, really well put together. I've not tried in VR yet. It's been a while now, sadly, since I've plugged VR in and given it a go. Certainly on my screen that I'm using now for the stream, everything looks excellent. The performance is really well optimised. I'm getting good FPS across a wide different varieties on track. So I started from the back of the grid. I've been pretty heavily in traffic. I'm on a single screen because I'm streaming this video, but I've got 103 FPS so far. So again, performance is all really good. The audio's nice. I've not heard the real world Octavia Cup, so I've got no idea if it's realistic to the real thing, but it certainly does sound in keeping with this kind of car. It's a nice audio, it makes the right noises at the right time. There's no obvious points that make me sort of shiver and think, oh, that could have been better. The whole thing just feels really well put together. There's no other way of putting it. It deserves a version 1 status for sure. It's not one of these things that you think, yeah, it's got potential and maybe it'll get there in future. It feels like the real deal, the done deal, already from the off. And as a first mod, that's commendable. That's a really good effort. There's nothing here that smacks me of that needs working on. The only one thing I would say about the mod, and this is not a criticism, it's been a design decision that the team have taken, so all power to them. It doesn't come with real world racing liveries. So it comes with a selection of liveries, which obviously you can see from the cars in front and behind of us, but they're all a play on the same design in different colours. And they've been created, I believe, for a virtual league, looking at the sponsorship on the side of them. So obviously this car's been designed, I would imagine, for that league in question. And I'm sure our industrious mod community out there will, in good time, come up with a set of snazzy liveries, either real world ones or replica liveries or custom designed things as well. Something that's a very popular aspect of sim racing is livery design and painting. And that's the only thing. And I'm really scratching around to try and offer a balanced opinion to give you a negative, and it's not really a negative. That's the only thing I can say is it would have been awesome. I would have liked it if it had come with the real world liveries of the 2018 Octavia Cup series. So I like things like that. I like realism in my sim racing, and that's a nice immersion thing with me if it's got the real drivers and the real liveries. And I need to qualify that comment because, again, I know nothing of the Skoda Octavia Cup from the 2018 season, or any season for that matter. These could actually be the real liveries, and the primary sponsor of the championship could be an online league, for all I know. Although I doubt it. It does smack off, as I say, a league skin pack rather than the real deal. But everything else is absolutely top notch, and I'm loving driving this. I like this kind of car. My personal preference is either historic content or touring cars of any kind, and this falls into the touring cars of any kind category. It's flappy paddles, there's no clutch required, it's just the loud pedal and the stop pedal. So that keeps it nice and simple. As I've said already, the car's really lively. It's a big car. The Octavia, this is the Generation 3 model that's represented here. The Octavia, obviously the production version, is very heavily based on the Volkswagen Passat and the Audi A4 as well. So it's a big car. It's a reasonably weighty car because of its size. Oh, he's off. That opens up an opportunity for us to catch up and maybe have a look going past. It's a big car. You're hustling a lot of weight around the circuit with you, and that weight can be felt through the wheel. That gives you, there we go, you can see there, perfect example. The car's wanting to snap all the time. I tried winding a little bit of front brake bias on to relieve some of the fishtailing on the braking, but as you can see, I'm on 75% forward bias now. Excuse me. Anyway, so this is just an inherent characteristic of the car, which no doubt has been influenced by, as I say, the patronage of real-world drivers who've supported, developed and fed back into the design process of this mod, and that's something massive. The people behind this Octavia Cup 2018 car have gone out there and gathered real world data from teams, feedback from real teams. They've got the real drivers in sim explaining where the car matches up or falls short of their real world version. And they've put it together in a damn fine package, and they're giving it away to the community for free. And to me, that is one of the many reasons why sim racing is incredible. And it's one of the many reasons why I still enjoy Assetto Corsa and games of its ilk. Just let me think about it. We're driving a Skoda Octavia Cup 2018 car here. You see any non-moddable racing game release, and they all focus on the big categories. So you've got your Codemasters looking at things like the Formula 1 Championship. You've got Kunos, who've now moved on to Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is GT3 Blank Pan Endurance Series racing. You've got Race Room, who mop up a lot of the big series like DTM, TCR, the ADAC GT Masters Championship, and a variety of other bits and bobs. We would never get a commercial release of the Skoda Octavia Cup. It just wouldn't happen. It's not a universally well-known or popular enough series. So we've got modders coming in, stepping in and filling that excellent gap with such high quality, realistic content as this. And that's a wonderful thing, and that really is the sort of thing I love about sim racing, that I can drive these kinds of cars to this level of detail, to this level of visual and physics and audio quality in a great racing sim like Assetto Corsa and the other great moddable sims out there, Automobilista, R-Factor 2, to name just two. It's a wonderful world, people, we live in, and it's made all the more wonderful by people like these guys that produce damn fine content like this. I absolutely love this one. Would I recommend this? Yes, I would, without any shadow of a doubt. I have very little spare time. Should spare time become available, ha ha ha, would I fire AC up these cars for my personal pleasure? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was 8 awesome laps of racing. The car is beautiful. It looks the beat, it looks the business, it sounds top notch, and most importantly of anything, in the cockpit it feels brilliant. The ACCentral.cz people that have created this mod, and everybody associated with it, must be rightfully very, very proud of what they've achieved. It's a first mod, and you wouldn't believe it. You would not believe this is the first attempt. It feels beautiful in every way. I fired it up with zero expectations. I've come away bowled over. It's instantly risen, absolutely without a shadow of a doubt, into the top 5 for me, for my personal driving pleasure and tastes. One of the top 5 mods, top 6 mods, absolutely dynamite. I would race offline, I would race online, I would do a league in these. Beautiful in every way, shape and form. Double brownie points the fact it's something obscure like a Skoda Octavia, something that you don't see in sim racing very often at all, if ever. So yeah, love it. So I've been Paul, this has been RDTV. We've been driving the Skoda Octavia version 1 2018 Cup car for Assetto Corsa by ACCentral.cz modding team. You've been watching RDTV. I would love it if you could give me a like and a follow on Twitch and YouTube. Also, we're on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. RaceDepartment.com for all your news and community engagement and interaction in the real and virtual world of motorsport. Until next time, folks, I hope I find another gem like this, because that was wicked. I'm going to log off. I am going to potentially think about editing this, and then I'm going to go and do some more racing in this incredible mod. I've been Paul, been RDTV, been an absolute pleasure recording this for you. Really hope you've enjoyed it. Till next time, sim racing's awesome guys, so are you. Take it easy, and bye bye.